Okay. First of all, let me welcome everyone. So, in today's introduction, which we have a free workshop, we are going to discuss about agentic AI, like what is agentic AI, and we'll be looking into some of these applications. How do we build agentic AI? We'll look into some of the use cases and also different platforms which can be used for using or building agentic AI. So, what do you all understand when we talk about agentic AI? I just want to hear from all of you. Like, what is your understanding? What are AI agents? What are they going to do here?
I think they are autonomous or semi-autonomous softwares powered by AI or machine learning models that can execute workflows that we allow them to execute.
Okay, to share any other thing.
Well, for like agentic AI, it's autonomous in decision making, i.e., like what your cars have, newer cars have. So, reactive braking, defensive steering, and things like that. That's another
Yeah,
one.
yeah, correct. So I'll just play one video here so that we all understand about agentic AI. Like we are talking about agentic AI, but already many companies have built solutions. Many startups are working on that. So 2024 was about agentic AI. 2025 is for multi-AI agents and swarm of AI agents that we are having. So this is a website we have instance. Okay, 1 minute. So just give me a moment. So this is um video here where we'll be looking into some of the applications. Okay, about like how does these agents work, and if you think about sales job or if you think about marketing job, which is very challenging, is something where you need a human skill. So this is something very difficult to automate. Now there are certain companies which are actually working on these. So we'll see the example. So we have one of the sales agent called as Ava. It's SDR. Let's look at this. So, yep. So I will just play this video and you can listen. So I'm just playing it here.
Hours tediously researching prospects, writing emails, and booking in meetings. But what if we told you it doesn't have to be that way? Introducing Ava, the sales rep artisan. Ava is just like anyone else on your team. She has a unique personality and gets to know you. She has conversations with her colleagues via Slack. She learns how the company works and gets better at her job. Except Ava isn't like her colleagues at all. Ava is a first of her kind, cutting edge AI agent trained to revolutionize outbound sales. Ava is an artisan. She prospects using her database of over 250 million contacts with 65 parameters. She crafts and sends.
So I'll put the link in the chat. You all can just check this. Okay. So what we are seeing here, like there are multiple AI agents that we are having, and Ava is one of them. So this is a sales agent which is uh, going to do a lot of prospecting, and then after doing a lot of prospecting they are going to close the lead, maybe look into the lead, send an email, follow up. So something that is very difficult, this entire thing can be automated by using AI agents. So we already have GPT 4.5. So in in coming months, GPT 5 would be released. Now we already have certain models like we are having O1 Pro models where if any organization is willing to pay around like $200 for 1 month, uh, you can the organization can consume like most of the feature from that as a monthly subscriptions. The idea is very simple. These companies uh, they are charging like basically 1/10 of the cost of any employee that would be working, as well as these AI agents they are working 24/7, maybe unless you are utilizing them, and 7 days a week. So the cost is almost 1/10. So in certain basic task, they will be replacing the human works, and this is where we need them. But when we talk about specialized task, these bots right now they would not be able to replace that. Okay, so this is just one example. There are so many examples which we can look into that. Like we would be having an HR AI agent, the one that I'm building right now, a complete recruitment from performance management. Everything will be done by an AI agents. Then we can think about doctor assistant AI agents. There could be a lawyer AI agent. So data analyst AI agent, project manager AI agent. So all these are based on the roles, on the personas that we are having. These AI agents can be created, and many companies are working on that. So let's try to understand. As I mentioned, you can see here on my screen right now. So we are having this is the AI agent landscape. So we have many agents for coding purpose. Okay, these are all open source that you see here. Then we are having closed source also, okay, like community version. Like either you go with some paid subscription here, or maybe some free ones. So these are different AI agents, and they are trying to solve many of these problems that we are having. So coming back to what is the AI agent, like what are we doing here? So AI agent is nothing but it is the it's actually the role that we are defining, and we are using the capabilities of the LLMs. So we are using LLMs for reasoning and for getting the response, as well as along with LLM we also are having certain tools. So we are using certain tools for reasoning, for understanding the input. We are making it more context aware. So what is this agent made up of? The agent is made up of, one is the large language model, which can be a foundation model like GPT model, or open source model like Llama model. Then we can have certain tools. For example, you want to scrap some data from internet, that can be done. So different tools for reasoning, for scrapping website, so we can use that. Then we have memory. Memory would be like these agents, they remember the events. So we have two types of memory here. One would be a short term memory, and one would be a long term memory. These are the two types of memory that we would be having with these agents. And
Look, I think your voice is
they
breaking.
can these agents can take a decision.
Hello?
Yeah, is my voice breaking?
Yes, yes, your voice is breaking in between.
1 minute, I'll change my network.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay, so is my voice better now? I just changed my
Yes, Alok,
network.
much better.
So okay, thank you. So let's come back. So we are talking about agents, and what just we discuss like what is this AI agent. So AI agent is nothing but the main idea. If you see here, we are actually using the capability of the large language model itself, and then what we are doing, we are trying to reason. Okay, we are trying to reason using this large language model. Now the basic part in any AI agent that we are having is the AI agent. First thing, it has to use the large language model for reasoning, for generating the response. First thing, this large language model, it could be the foundation model or it could be the proprietary model that we are having. It could be the fine-tuned model. Anything would be there. So we can go with like GPT model, or it could be open source model like Llama model, DeepSeek model. Anything can be used here. Second thing, it is having certain tools. The tools would be like we have one tool for scrapping the webs. So if you are looking for some data from internet, maybe from e-commerce website, you can do that. So the tool we will be having, which would be doing different tasks, and the most important thing is the memory. So it will be having a short term memory and a long term memory. A short term memory, just to remember the chat context. A long term memory to have the idea about the users, what is the, like, what kind of questions they will be asking, like what is their previous interactions, what kind of issues they have faced, or what is the task they are doing. So all these things would be saved in a long term memory. So if you look at traditional agents, what do we have? So this agent concept is not new. Already, we have reinforcement learning. So if you look at reinforcement learning is made up of the agents and the environment. So the traditional system is very simple. You are having the agents, these agents that you see here. Okay, these agents, they will be taking the action in the environment. So they will be taking certain actions in the environment, and based on that action they will be getting a rewards here. Okay, so they will be getting a rewards here. So these rewards, if they are doing a positive thing, a good thing, they will get a positive reward. If they are doing something bad, if they are not following the instructions, they will get a negative reward. So what yes, so they will be getting the negative reward here. You can ask the question. Yes, you can raise your hand, Anil, if you're having a question. Please let me
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
sure. Thanks, Alok. Maybe it is technical, but we don't have to. The short-term and long-term memory. So how is this executed? As in, I know in the traditional ML space, you have your customer data platform, CDPs of the world, where
Yeah.
customer information is stored, right?
Yeah.
But in the agentic AI, there is a need for response to be fast and quicker, right? So how is this
Correct.
executed?
Correct.
Uh, Short-term and long-term memory. Yeah.
So short-term memory is like, if you take example of chat GPT. So when you are
Uh-huh.
typing some question, like let's say you have asked something, so
Mm-hmm.
you will say, okay, look at the previous response. So ideally, if you look at chat GPT or Copilot, they remember the last three chat conversation that has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Even if you go at some other platform like Claude, that is from Anthropic, it remembers more, like, at least 5 6 iterations they remember. But again, if you do more, it will give you like, to I will ask you to use longer sequence or start a new chat. So if I take on an average, it is 3 to 4 chat conversation at any given time when you are
So,
trying to use. At any time,
gotcha.
like 3 to 4 is the maximum. This is a short term memory. Okay,
Okay.
so this is a short term memory. This is done in the bot. Now uh, let's look at long term memory. So for a long term memory, we need to store it. So we need a database here. I'll give you example. Let's say
Mm-hmm.
we have built a service bot. This bot is trying to respond to user queries. So let's say
We lost your audio, Alok.
this is a ticket file is not working. But if you look back, there's a pattern every month at a certain time. There's a load shedding. So what happens at that time? For example, on Friday evening, 8 to 9, there's a load shedding every time. So what happens when there's a load shedding everywhere? The network will be down. It's a common problem everywhere. So this kind of uh, memory has to be stored in some sort of database, like we already have either SQL database or any other database where this information is stored, and whenever required, this data can be extracted. So this is an example of long-term memory.
Sorry. Thanks, Alok. So the short-term memory is basically sending last X number of transactions information as a payload to the API
Yes.
call to the LLM.
Yes, correct.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Any other participant is having any question? Do let me know if you have any question here. Okay. So here you can see this is all the agents will be taking certain actions in the environment, and based on that they will be getting rewards. And then we have like memory here, knowledge here. So all these things, the goal of traditional agent, that is a reinforcement learning, is reward maximization. Means whenever you're taking a positive actions you will get a reward, and the entire goal is to get a maximum reward, and the agent will get a maximum reward only when it is taking positive action most of the time. So this is how it is working. Now if you look at the key important characteristics of the agent, like what are the important, so it's based on natural language understanding. The agent should understand our language, our human language that we are speaking. It should be understanding the syntactics, the semantics of our language. Second thing, it should be able to generate text like us. So it should be having the capability of natural language generation. These agents, they should be able to learn and they should be able to understand the data that is coming, and they should be able to take their own decisions based on this. The most important part is that given some of the instructions, they should be able to do the task on their own. And so we should not be telling them what to do. They have to decide and they have to do on their own. uh, a very important part is that they should be aware of all the context that is happening around them. Okay. And they have to be interactive. They have to communicate among themselves in a form of a dialogue and solve certain problem. And we discuss about a memory that should be having a knowledge and a memory to maintain everything. So what we'll do, we'll just quickly look at demo. I'll give you all a demo here. We'll try to understand how these agents are working. Okay. So let's quickly look at this demo and try to understand. So I'm just opening a demo for you. So here we are going to look into an research agent which is going to do a query. So the problem statement here, why we are building the agent is, so we have an idea. The idea is that you want to build an application here with the material PPT we shared. Material, I will be sharing the labs and all. You can go through that. PPT would not be shared, but labs and all definitely I can share with all of you. Okay, so if you see here, after the session is over, you will get a video, you will get a link for these recordings as well as lab, and also you will get a link for the labs. You can do it yourself. So here you can see the problem statement is that we want to build a multi-AI agent. This agent is basically going to search on the internet for some research article on the recent uh, news, or maybe the recent publications on GenAI. So here we are just going to give some instruction. The rest of the things the agent will be doing. So they have to search on the internet some recent publications, extract the data from the internet, and they have to put the entire data here. So this is the whole plan. So here in this lab, in this example that I'm showing, we are going to use and framework from Microsoft that is called as AutoGen. So this is an AI agent framework, and we are going to install this. First thing, we always go with installing the uh, packages or the dependencies that we are having. So let's do that. I will just be installing the packages and the dependencies here. So we require AutoGen. What is AutoGen? It's a agentic AI framework. So if you go on Google and check, so there are at least major five, we have five major AI agentic platform which I will be talking about in some time. But remember that, so this is a framework for building the applications, and this is based on this is built by Microsoft itself. So we using this for our example here. So the first thing will install all the dependencies here, as you can see, just waiting for it to get installed. Now once this is done, we are going to use here a GPT model. So I will quickly open GPT to get the APIs. So I'm just opening the GPT here to get the APIs. So this is a OpenAI platform, uh, and from here we'll be getting the API keys. So you can see we have the API. Let's click on this, create a new API key. Let's call it as test one, and you can mention any project name that you want. So I just have created some project. So we got the key here. I'm just copying the key and restart the session. Okay. So we will start from here. So first thing, I have to replace this entire key. So this key is in this is an API key that will help us to connect with the GPT model. Okay, so we start first by configuration. So this is all about just a basic configuration that we are doing here. Okay, so this is done, and we are going to save it here. The entire keys, whatever we are having, will be saving it here. So this entire JSON file is nothing but, if I just open it, you will see here this side, it is having the API key. Okay, which we are saving it there. Now once that is done, we start with AutoGen. So we are using this AutoGen framework. I will just import this, and we can check the version of it. Now after this, we are going to use AutoGen for building this entire multi-agent AI framework. Okay. So first thing, very important. Now we have just till now we have only set up the basic configuration, that is the API key. And other thing that we have done, we have just imported all the dependencies, all the labs, all the dependencies, all the packages that is required. Okay, that is done. Now after this, we are going to use LLM model for our agent. So here we are going to use like we are going to use GPT model. So we set up all these hyperparameter for that, like the temperature, which is very important for creating the random content or maybe more unique content. So if you want more randomness into the output, temperature we can keep in the range of 0 to 1. This is means more random. Okay, and 0 means more unique we are having. So this will be more unique. So if you are working on some Excel sheet, then you don't want to create something new, you don't want to be creative, you would like to be less creative, so you keep it as 0. If you want to create something, let's say you're looking to create a story or maybe something, then you can keep it as 1. So our temperature is a very important hyperparameter here, which we set up. And we also set up timeout, like when my bot will be doing timeout. After this configuration, we import all the dependencies like AutoGen. We are using an agent. So here we are going to build 5 different types of agents. Here example. So we are going to use this library AutoGen. So we have imported all the dependencies here. Now you see we are starting with the first agent. So we are defining the first agent. Now this is very simple. How do you define the agent? To define the agent, you have to give a name of that agent. Okay, what is the name for that agent? So we have an admin agent here, and then you will give a message to that agent what this agent is doing. So like this, you can build an lawyer agent, you can build an analyst agent, like you can define the role as well as what this agent would be doing. You have to define that. So in this example, if you see, I am a human admin. So it's a human admin. What it is doing, it is interacting with a planner to discuss the plan, and it is also trying to give the approval, like whether we should move forward or not. So it's a very important. Normally in any organization, admin is giving all the approval. So first thing that we have done here, we have set up the admin agent. After that, we are defining a second agent, that is an engineer. So you give a name to this, like this is an engineer, and then you will uh, set up, like you will set up the instruction for this. So here we are defining that engineer, you follow the plan. Okay, so the admin is going to allocate, different tasks, and there will be a planner who will be planning the events task somebody has to do. So the engineer is going to follow a plan that has been prepared. He is going to write the scripts. So he is going to write the scripts in Python or maybe in shell code to solve any problem. If you bring any problem, the engineer is going to solve scripts for that. Also, if you see here, we have given the instruction that wrap the code in the code block that specify the script types. Also, we have given here some more uh, instruction that the user cannot modify your code. So do not suggest incomplete code. Your code has to be complete. Okay. Also, we have given further, but do not use the code block if it is not intended. So we have given more instructions so that the code that engineer is writing is proper. Okay. Also, we have mentioned that do not ask other to copy paste the results. Check the execution results, turn by. So whatever execution is done, so he is only going to write the code. The execution will be done by the different agents, and once that execution is done, he can go and look into that. Then we have a scientist. So here, what is the use case that we are solving? We want to search on the internet different research paper on GenAI. So the engineer will write the code, and the planner will do a planning. Somebody will be running that code and do the scrapping on the website and bring some data. Now, those research articles have to be analyzed by a domain expert. Who is the domain expert here? It's a scientist. So the scientist, once, first of all, he is going to follow a plan that has been set up, and once that plan is set up, he is going to categorize the research paper based on the abstract that is printed here. So this is our third agent. We have defined three agents till now. The first one was admin. The second one is engineer who is going to write the scripts. A third one is a scientist who is going to look into all the research paper. Now we are having the next agent who is a planner. Now this agent is a planner. So he is going to suggest a plan. Like we discussed, somebody has to write a plan of the task that has to be done. So he is going to plan the entire task. He is going to revise the plan. He is going to share the feedback. Okay, like he is going to get a feedback from the admin, and we also are having a critic who is going to review everything. Okay, whatever plan the planner has set up, somebody has to review that entire plan. That will be done by two different agents. One is the critic, he will be reviewing the plan, and the second one is the admin. So they both have to give the approval. uh, Basically the admin has to give the approval, the critic has to just look at the plan and review that. So the plan will be involved, like it will involve the engineer first. The plan have to be followed by the engineer. Okay, and then the scientist is also going to uh, follow the plan. So starting with the engineer and then the scientist, they're going to follow the plan. So this is our fourth agent who is a planner. The next agent that we are having is an executor. Okay, the next agent that we are having is an executor. So what he's doing, he's going to execute, he's going to run the scripts that are written by the engineer. Engineer is writing the script, and he will be running the entire script. And we have mentioned here, he has to look into like last two messages and all, and like all these things we have defined. Okay, you save the paper somewhere into like working directory and all. Then we are having the last agent that we have defined, that is a critic. This critic is going to double check the entire plan. Like whatever the first admin will come, he will mention the task, what has to be done. Then the planner will come. The planner will plan everything. Okay, it will plan all the steps here that has to be followed by the engineer and the doctor. And then the critic will come, he will review everything, going to cross check whether it is right or not. Maybe if required, the critic is going to modify the plan. Once this is done, and we have to take the approval from the admin, and then the engineer will and the scientist will come into picture. The engineer will start writing the block of code. He will review the code, and once that is done, then the executor will come. He will be running the code and scrap the data from the website. And finally, once the data is scrapped, research paper. So we are having so many agents working together to solve one use case here. This is just to give you the example. Alok, you raise your hand. Go ahead.
Quick question, Alok.
Yeah,
I know I'm not a coder, I'm a product manager.
yeah,
So picture speaks thousand words more, right? I want to see, do you have any sequence diagram or flow diagram on how um, agents execute and then planner comes into the play? I'm trying to follow through your console, but it's hard to understand. So, yeah.
yeah. So here, what you see right now, this is a group chat. It's a group chat that is going to happen. So we are not like telling anything. Whatever you see, the actions and all, that is going to be rule based. Like I define the action, do this, then do this, then do this. So that is going to be not complete automation. Like when you do that, you define the sequence. See, what is the whole idea here? The whole idea here is that I'm defining the role of the agent. They have to do actions and all. I'm not going to tell anything to them. So in this case, the sequence of action will be decided by the agents. So we cannot have any plan like that. They will decide and they will do everything. What we are doing is that we are just defining the role for them. Have you understood?
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what we are automating the complete task. This is all have to be done by the agents. So we have not run this. Let's quickly. So what we have done here is that we have just used the API. As you can see here, we have just got the API and we have just uh, imported all the packages and we have defined the agents. This is what we have done. This is a very basic coding that we have done here. So we have just defined all the agents, at least 6 agents we have defined. Now you see here, we are creating a group chat. So what we are doing here, we are just creating a group chat. In this group chat, we have just bringing all the agents together. So we are telling we would be having a user proxy, an engineer. We would be so user proxy is your admin, okay? Your engineer, scientist, planner, executor, and a critic. And maximum 10 round of messages we have mentioned here. So they are going to plan what to do among themselves. We are not telling anything to them. We'll just tell them what is the task, what has to be done. That's it. And then here further we have the manager. So let's first go and run all these agents. So I'm just trying to execute all these block of codes so that we are ready with these agents. Now here we have defined the group chat. Okay, we have defined the group chat here. In this we are having engineer, scientist, planner, and then we are trying to manage all of them together. So we are going to uh, group the chat manager here who will be managing everything. So till now what we have done, we have just defined the role and we have just created one group chat like WhatsApp group that we are having. So we have so many user and everybody is trying to join the group and maybe communicate among themselves. So this is what is exactly happening here. And then further, this is the role that we are having. See what is the role that we have given here, what is the task that we have given here. Find papers on LLM applications that can enhance or augment human learning on the archive, from archive in the last week. So this is a website from where you can go and you can search a lot of research papers. They have all the research paper there. And also this we want in a markdown format, like in a proper text format we want it here. Yeah, we can use that once, but here see we can have those actors diagram and all. Okay, which we have right now, we can create that, but here we don't have any flow structure as such. So let's start now. You can see once I start, you will see the action, what happens. See what is happening. First, the admin came, he mentioned the task. Now, planner is actually going to create the entire plan. He's working on the plan. Now you can see we got the plans. Okay, critic is trying to review that plan. He has mentioned the plan for engineer, scientist. So 8 plans the planner has mentioned. The critic is reviewing all the 8 plans now. Now the critic is done. You can see here the critic is done. So this was the initial plan that planner has set up, 8 plans. Then the critic came. Critic, what he did, he tried to cross check that, he tried to validate that, and he came up with 10 plans. Here it was only mentioned 8 plans. So he came up with 10 plans, and finally it has gone to admin for the approval. Okay, so you can see like what was done here. Engineer, he mentioned the engineer to write a script. The engineer has to write a script code to get the research paper. The scientist, he has to look into the data that is scrapped from the internet, and again he has to cross check. So all these scripts have been mentioned. We have not told anything. They are planning among themselves, and he's review that. Now this has gone to admin. So admin has to give the approval here whether to start. So we are the admin, we can give the approval here. So I'll just press enter here. Okay, now I started, I press enter. Now you can see it has gone to engineer. Now engineer is actually trying to look into this. Okay, engineer is going to write a code for this. So he is working now, he is writing script to extract the data from the internet for web scraping. And so we'll wait for him till he's started. Now you can see he started writing the scripts, but there was some error here.
Hello, one question. Right. See that?
Sorry, I think there was some network issue from mine. So the engineer was actually he was working on this, and he was trying to execute the code properly. Let me run this once again quickly. I think so. It stopped in between. So okay, okay. So you can see here, the engineer has corrected the code, and then there was some data that is scrapped from the internet. Some data is scrapping have been happened here. So we are going to take this data further, and we are going to look into this. So let's go and try to display data. So you can see here, further the scientist, he try to categorize the data here. So based on the domains, like you can see here, we have got this research paper. If I click on this, shows you this is a research paper. Like something they have gone maybe not exactly right, but we're able to build a solution where you can see we are using a multi-agent to do some task, maybe automate this entire stuff and do some research. Okay, finding out some data from the internet and bringing it that. So this is just an example to show you the how these agents work. Okay, and what kind of capabilities we are using here. Coming back, to our discussion, which we were discussing on the characteristics. So these are the important features required by any agents. They have to be using all these characteristics. The next important part, like what are the different types of agents that we are having. So we may be having some simple reflex agents which are based on certain actions. So based on certain actions, they will be performing certain tasks. So this is like if and else. So kind of conditions that we are having here. Okay. Other would be based on some sort of uh, previous understanding. Okay, they would be doing. Other would be goal based, and then same way we can have learning based agents also. Like these are the traditional types of agents, different types of agents we are having. We can just come here and see, like these are different machine learning tasks that you see here, and these are the different agents that we are having. Okay, like a technical agent would be there would be an agent who would be looking into data dependency, one agent would be looking into the development task. Like this we would be having a different task here. How to run the customer meeting. Okay, there is a question here, how to run a customer meeting with the links be provided to all the attendees. Okay, you have to okay, fine, the link will be sent. The Definitely you will get the links. Okay, after the recordings will be shared after this session. So I just come back to these, like agents, how they work. Okay, so the agent, they work with these mechanism called as React. So React is actually made up of two important words: reasoning and the actions. So what they do, they are using the LLM capabilities to reason and then take action in the environment. So these agents, the React agents, basically they do reasoning and then they take the actions. So the reasoning, how is the reasoning happening? The reasoning is happening by using the agents, by using the large language model itself, and they are taking the actions. So the actions is based on these reasonings. Okay, and we would also be having certain tools when we are trying to when we are trying to do web scraping, or when we are trying to extract the data from the internet. So we have to use certain tools to extract that data. Okay, so these are called as example of React agents. Then we have a chain of thought and chain of reasoning, very very important. Okay, so chain of thought means what? Here we are guiding the agent to articulate the thought process step by step. So any problem that we give to them, like whatever uh, problem statement that we have shared with the agent, it is going to break it down into uh, different tasks. Okay, so very important, it is going to break down the task, and then this, because of you are breaking down the task, every agent can reason and they can go and complete that task. So very important, we know here what is happening. We can look at individual agents and understand whether they are performing or not. So we have a transparency here, as well as, because of these all important steps as well as the transparency, it helps us to increase the accuracy. Whatever output we are getting, that would be better, because now we know that okay, the agents have been defined, they are all doing good job. If any agent is, let's say, not performing, we'll go and modify that. So what will happen, our accuracy will be increased. And then we are having a chain of reasoning. So chain of reasoning is built by this chain of thoughts, by using some sort of logical understanding, by having some sort of relationship between the agents that we are having. Like these are the some of the mechanism how the agents are working. So what are the use cases we can solve? Like we just saw one use case here, what are the other use cases? So we can do sentiment analysis, we can analyze a customer feedback to see like what is the overall feedback for any product, or let's say a new product is launched in the market, whether the customers like it or not. A new movie is released, what is the sentiment for that? So all these things can be automated using AI agents. The other application could be chatbots and the virtual agents. So we can build up a conversation platform. Like now, most of the service industries, they can use AI agents. So one of the big problem that we see here, if you are making a phone call for a support, ideally you would be asked to call office time 9 to 5, and there also you would be put into IVRS, press 1, press 2, press 3. So sometimes it's very boring, and sometimes we are not able to connect to the support. So all these problems can be solved. We can give a better customer experience. In fact, we can have a bot who are talking like a human beings. We can have the voice capabilities inside that. It looks very natural. So this entire support can be automated, give a better experience. They can even go and raise a ticket for us. So we have few more labs where if you're interested, you can go, you can build your own support agents. So we have the entire course on agentic AI. If you're interested, you can join that. All these labs would be covered there. Then text summarization, you want to summarize the text, or maybe you want to do a machine translation, you want to translate from one language to other, we can do that. Same way, name entity recognition is very very important. So if you can identify the key entities from your documents, so that will help you to build, like for example, email data is totally unstructured data, and if you want to uh, build an automated system that can respond to the email, so that can be done by using agents. They if they can extract the entities, like what is the key topics in these, and then based on certain entities they can respond that, as well as topic modeling. So these are the important tasks the agents can do. What are the different models that can be used with these agents? So we can go with proprietary GPT models, like right now we have used GPT 4o. Same way, we can even go with open source. So let's say if any organization don't want to use the proprietary model, they can use open source model like Llama, DeepSeek, Mistral, up to them, whatever they are comfortable with. Even Gemini model like Gemma model are open source from Google, that can also be used, and some other proprietary model like Claude, okay, or GPT can also be used based on the applications. So we discuss about that. Then we have a tool. See, tool is very very important. LLMs are used for reasoning, but to perform the task, to do certain things, we need an agents. The agents need certain tools. Okay, so certain tools we can use, like for web scraping. We just saw the example where the agents can go and look on internet and maybe extract some data from there. Like that, we can have some search APIs that can do a query on Google custom search, or maybe on Bing search and retrieve. Same way, we can have a tools that can look into a database, that can look into a vector database, or maybe some sort of knowledge graph. So these tools, they allow the agent to do a task that is beyond the capabilities of the LLM models. LLM model can only give a certain uh, tokens, like it can give us certain output, but to do the certain actions we need these tools. So one of the tool is information retrieval tool that will extract the information. Same way, we have an communication interaction tools. So this tool is going to communicate between the agent and the external sources, like API integration tool can be used to interact with the uh, like example, if you're looking to build a solution that can look into the stock prices, and maybe you want to make some sort of recommendations, so we can have these APIs, stock APIs, which can do that. Or you are trying to build a solution where you are doing mapping of the inventory, so you can take the map APIs and you can build that. You can find out real time, how the product is moving, or maybe you are looking something into manufacturing. So all these things can be done by API integrations. Then we have a messaging tools. Okay, so messaging tools like Slack, WhatsApp, and all. So these all can be integrated. We can send the message outside if so. Like connecting your bots with WhatsApp is very easy. So if you have some query and all, that could be respond. And these WhatsApp, like these external agents, can help us to complete this task. Same way, text processing agents are there. So these are all going to do the cleaning of the text. Okay, the sanity the sanity check, cleaning of the data can be done by the text processing agent. They can do tokenization, they can do name entity recognition, they can also do the NLP, like we can use NLP libraries to do certain tasks like sentiment analysis, or you want to do text summarization, like whatever task you want to do, you can do that. Then content generation. So if you want to generate a content, so we can have a tool for content generation. We can use it with the agent like text summarization. So you want to summarize a big text, you can do that. You want to be creative, okay, you want to create a poetry, or maybe some script, you want to create some script, you can do that. Machine translation, very important. If you want to translate from one language to other, that can also be done here. So when we look at agent, like what are the different platforms? So like here you can see agents can do a different task. How they are doing? By using a chain. So these chains are trying to connect the agents. And one of the important application that we are having is one of the important orchestrative platform that we are having is called as LangChain. So if you look at LangChain, this was LangChain was actually open. This is an open source framework which is released in 2022. So I'll just go to this LangChain part just to show you all. So you can see here, this is a framework which can be used to connect the models. Models is our GPT models along with the prompts, and you can connect with your data. So maybe we have a data loaders, and we also have different tools. We just saw some of the example of the tools. So the connection that you see here is a chain. So these all are connected here. So same way, like we just saw LangChain. So the agents, they are using the chains to connect the tools with there. So like research agent that is there, it is working, okay. For example, you work in this consulting firm, and this agent that we are building, it has to do a research on internet about the recent news about the balance sheet, like a lot of data it has to go and collect. So this could be done by these chains, okay, together. So you can see here the chain example. So you start with first summarizing, let's say, a research paper, okay. Then what has happened, we got, so the information gathering, okay, was done by the research agent. So we use a web scraping API here to scrap the academic research paper. Then what has happened, then we have a research agent that is going to share the extracted information like topics, authors, backgrounds, okay, whatever is there. So the this research agent is going to do the knowledge transfer, is going to do the KT. Then we have a summarize agent. What he's going to do, he's going to summarize everything, like whatever content that we have got. We would have got so many research papers, so somebody has to summarize that research paper. Who will be summarizing this content? So this content generation agent, he is going to summarize everything here. And finally we have an agent who is going to actually bring all those informations together, and he is going to do a collaboration, and he will be interacting throughout the process. And then we can send the email, like update whatever has happened, so it can draft an email and send across. So you can see like how the agents work. They are working in a very complex manner as a chain of events that we are having. Now let us look into the framework. Okay, one framework that we have just now used was Autogen. Autogen is from Microsoft. Like that, we are having many other frameworks. Like you can see, we have a Llama index. So this is one of the framework which can be used for building these agents. Then we have LangChain. I just showed you the example of LangChain, which is made up of a language model and different chains that we are having. Like that, we have baby AGI. We are having Auto GPT. Recently, one of the most used multi-agent that we are having is called as Crew AI. It's a very good, and it can be used to create a production grade agents which can be deployed. Okay, so here we just have example of LangChain. Like how does LangChain work? So the key feature of LangChain is that It is having a modular design. It offers a modular approach where the user can use a different component. It can do a prompt management. We can create a prompt, we can store that. It is having a chains. That chains can facilitate a sequence of event, like you can mention different events, and here we are having so many chains. What you see here is one chain, this is different, this is different. So we have so many chains here, which we are using in LangChain. So then it is having memory. We discuss two types of memory are there, short term and long term, and integration is there. What we'll do, so this is the framework of LangChain that we have seen. Before I move forward, anybody is having any question, please do let me know. We can take a few question here, and we can do one lab on LangChain, and I can share this lab with everyone. Okay,
So look, there is
so if
something to communicate to the team also. So,
yeah,
team, there is a continuation to this session, what it is going today. So, this is a 2 hours free live session, and to the continuation of this, there is a boot camp running from AgileFever from 24th to 28th March from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So, I'm just refreshing this in the chat. Please go through it and yeah, click on the link below to check what is there on our website. Yes, Alok, you can please go ahead.
yeah. Okay, so here we just now discuss about LangChain. It's an orchestrator framework. So what we'll do in this lab, which I want everyone to actually go and run. So first I'll give you a demo, and then all of you can go and try here. So in this we are going to use LangChain to build this solution where we are defining again, like this chain of events we are having, and we'll be doing some task. So let's understand here. So first we start with installation of all the packages. So we how do we start? We start with pip install, and whatever package is required you just go and install it here. So let me run this. Okay, so you do pip install and you go and install all the dependencies. So this is the first step, and then once you've installed this, the next step is that you import all the required modules, all the required libraries here. So this is what we are doing in the next step. Okay, once I complete this I will share this lab with all of you. You all can try with me. Okay, so you all can try with me. Once I do this, then I'll share it. So the next step after doing all this installation is to install the packages, to install the dependencies, which we are doing it here. So we'll just wait for it. Let these libraries install. Okay, the libraries, all the packages are installed. Now you just run this. The next thing is that you have to mention your API keys. So here in the previous lab, we have used a proprietary model, GPT model from OpenAI. So here we are not going to use GPT model. In fact, we'll be using open source model. So we have a framework called as Grok. So here we are going to use Grok here. So this is one of the fastest, even this is even faster than chat gpt. If you have not used it earlier, you can see. So this is using something called as language processing unit. It is not using gpu, it is using something called as lpu, language processing units. And that is why it is very very fast. For example, if I ask it, write a story, write a story for a 5-year-old kid. So if you want to write a story, and then you can select your model, you can see we have so many open source model available, like Llama models, Mistral, even we have a DeepSeek available, and others. So I'll go with these. I think let's see what it gives us. I'm just running this. You can see already we got the output. So this is very very fast. We have just sent the request and we got the output. You all can try. This is totally free. Okay. So here we are going to use the API from this website. I'll just go to the developers, create a free API, and already I have an API. You can create your own. You can register on this website. Like you can just mention the name, for example, test, and then submit. So I got the API. So you can create your own API and you can use this. The website is Grok. I'll share the link of this website in the chat. Anybody can go and use it. Okay, I've shared the link. So now let's go back and look at this lab. So we have done the installation. So here we are, the key is here. That is the Grok API key. Just now I showed you. In LangChain also, this if you want to use this uh, orchestrator framework LangChain, you have to connect with the APIs. Okay, so we have LangChain here. If I want to go use the API, so again you can sign up and you can get API like we did it here. So if I go here, like example, now I want to use some key here, so I can just go to the settings, and then you can see you can create an API key, again give a name as, like I'm giving a name as T1, and then I got this key, so you can get a key from there. So we are good to go now. We got both the keys. I have shared both the keys here. Okay, so let's run this. So you have to you can use your own key. Further, what we are doing here, so then we have to select the model. Which model do we want to use it for the chat interaction? Which model do you want to use? For example, you want to go with DeepSeek model, or you want to use Llama model, you want to use Mistral model. That is up to you. So I have just mentioned DeepSeek. You can change it to Llama model. You have to just copy the name and put it in the double quotation mark. That's it. So here we mention the model that we want to use, which LLM model we want. Here we are mentioning that. So this is the first thing we are doing here, mentioning that model here. After this, we set up that okay, we want to use LLM. So LLM, we are initializing. We are using LangChain to initialize with this. So first thing, we'll bring the LLM here using LangChain. Then we bring the prompt template. Okay, like what is the prompt? You have to define. So in LangChain, we have seen, if you want to use LangChain, what do you need? You need to write, like you need to bring the model, you need to bring the prompt, you need to bring the tools, you need to bring text splitter, and everything will be chained by LangChain. So LangChain stands for, it's made up of two words. Lang stands for language, and chain stands for these different chains that you see here. So it is using a language model to bring all these components here, the different components that we are having. What next we are doing here after that? So we start with a prompt. Prompt, you define the system that you are an expert AI engineer, provide an answer based on the questions, like whatever questions we might be asking it. Then we have a chain. Now you see in the chain we have the prompt and this model. So we have defined our foundation model here. Okay, we have just mentioned the model. This is LLM, this is our prompt, this part. So you bring both of them together. Okay, your prompt and LLM. Can you see here we have a chain here? We are building the first chain, the chain that we are building there. Okay, that is having a prompt and one pipe, and then the LLM model. So you will see here it is having a pipe between them. This is what? This is a chain between them. So you invoke that. So once this is done, like here you can see we have the next thing, how will my output look like? Okay, so you bring your output. So you will be giving an instruction, that is your prompt. You will be using a GenAI model. So what it will do, it will create some tokens that will generate some output. But how do you want the output? You want the output as a TXT, you want the output as a JSON. Like how do you want the output? As a key value pair. So you mention that. How do I want my output there? Can you, and then further what we are having. So further, like you define here JSON structure. I want it in a JSON structure. So now you can see we have a prompt, we are having pipe, we are having LLM, again we are having pipe, we are having output parser. So we are bringing everything. And finally what we are doing, we are running the entire function. So this is the main function that we are running. first initialize the LLM, then run the basic, like ask some question, then maybe you create the prompt template, and then we have these examples. So let's go and run these and check. I'm going to run this now. Okay, so here you can see we are just running this based on the question that we have asked. What was the query here? The query was, can you tell me about Langsmith? Now you can see it has generated the response here. What is Langsmith? And still giving the output. If you change this query here, like you write any other thing, so if you change the query, if you're writing something, it will respond. So I'm sending this in the chat. I want everybody to go and try this. Okay, this is open source, so I can share this. There is no problem in this. So all of you can go and run it right now. Okay, all of you can try this lab. I'm just sharing it in the chat. Again, looks like some. Okay, so I'm sharing this chat in the lab. Just give me a minute. So just check the link in the chat. You should be able to open this lab. So you all can open this lab. This is totally free of cost, open source. So you can use the same tokens. No, if you want, that is up to you. If you want, you can go and replace that by your own tokens, or you can run it as it is. So just run this and see if you're asking some question. You can change the model. You can use Llama model in place of DeepSeek model. Okay, just play with these. I'll give you some 5 minutes. You can play with this, and then we'll build a UI. Okay, we're going to build an UI, and we are going to ask some questions here. So you will find this lab. The next lab also will be shared with you. How to build a UI using Agentic AI.
The initialization of LLM, right?
Yeah.
Facing some issue related to the response.
Can you share the screen? I will allow that. You can share your
Yeah,
screen. We can see.
just give a second. See the screen?
Yes. So go to the last line where you're getting the error. This is performing. You're getting the output, right?
Yeah, I'm getting an output, but uh,
Okay. The problem is that we are asking the output in a JSON structure. So
Mhm.
this is actually a text. We if let's say your query is like key value pair. So the problem is that this is like we ask some questions where it is not able to convert that into a suitable format like JSON. So we can change this. We can say output I want is in a TXT format or maybe a plain text. Whenever we have certain user you're having, so customer name, his email ID and all, that in JSON format is fine. But this is not an error. This is just it is not able to convert the text in that format. So that is why we are getting this thing. So you can ignore that part.
thank you.
Yeah. So in the chat is a question: is the pipe in the syntax bitwise operation, or does it have a special meaning when it comes to an AI agent? Okay, so the pipe symbol is not used for bitwise operations. Instead, it is having a special meaning in LangChain framework. It is representing a composite functions, like so many functions you are having. One you are having is for prompt, one you are having for LLM. Okay, so that is what it is trying to chain them together. Chaining is the concept that we use here. It's kind of binding them together. Okay, so that's what the pipe is doing here. Okay, now if you have run this, if you're getting the output, let's create a beautiful UI for this. Let's see how we can. So we can use we have, like, if you want to create a UI, so you can go with important applications. One of them is called as Streamlit. Other one we are having Gradio. So here we are going to use Gradio to create this. So let me share my screen once again. We will see how we can use Gradio here to. Okay, so let's see how we can use Gradio here to create this. So I'm just sharing my screen once again. This lab also I will share with all of you. So let's look at this. So we are using the same grok. Maybe I have to change the keys because I would have modified the key in grok. So okay, let me just replace the grok key from here. I don't know, I would have. Okay, it is still there, looks like. So it should be working. So in this example, what we are going to do, we are going to create an interface. We are going to create a UI where you would be asking your question. So the code is same. The only thing is that we have mentioned the models, initialization. Again, we have the same thing, like you are an AI assistant. Then if you're not able to convert that into the format, you give us this error. This is the error that we were getting. Now this component that you see is to create a Gradio UI. Like, we want to create the entire UI. So let's run this, okay, once again, and see how we can actually create a UI. We can ask certain questions and our model should be able to respond to this. So I'm just putting the query here. So again, we are just running this once again. Now we would be creating an interface, a UI, where you can go and you can do your own query. Okay. So let's check this one also. Okay, meanwhile, there seems to be some question here. Do we need to create? No, no, you can run my notebook as it is. No need to create any key. Okay. Maybe later on you can modify that. So right now you can use the same scripts, no problem at all. So I'm just running these. As you can see, it will create a UI, a very beautiful UI, which you all can try once I share this code with all of you. So I'm just running this now. This is how the production level code will look like. So you can see this is given a link. Okay, this link you can run here itself. Okay, now here we have the option, either JSON or a plain text. We can ask the query, we can select our model. Okay, different options we are having. So let's run it on the interface. Now see, it is giving us a beautiful user interface here. Now it is just loading this. Now look at this one. Okay, so we got a beautiful interface here. We can come and ask some question. So you can select your model also. You want Llama model, Mr. DeepSeek. You can select that. How do you want the output? A plain or maybe as a JSON. You can do that. You can even define the system, whether you want it to give it certain role. You can do that. So let me ask here, what's the capital of USA? I'm just asking a basic simple question just to see if it is working. The output should come here in the response. Let's see. So it has generated a big response. The capital is the Washington DC, and it is, you can see. So if I change the model, I think that will give a different output. Okay, now I've used Llama model here, mention, I will submit it once again. Okay, so it's throwing away some error, I don't know, maybe I have to check. Okay, let me change the model. Maybe there is some issue in the backend, but you can, it is generating some response. Maybe some setting issue might be there in the backend. So like this UI, in this UI you can see we get beautiful UI using, so we are using here a grok to create this. So we are using a grok to create this. You all can do the same thing. uh, I will share this code once again. Everybody should be running this. This is in the chat. Go and check the same previous code, but only with the addition of a UI in this. So I'm just sharing the link in the chat. Okay, uh, go and check this one also. So no need to check any change any of the keys. You can directly run as it is, and you all should be able to ask different questions. There is some issue in the model. I will check. Maybe it is not able to get the keys properly, but otherwise everything looks fine. Okay, so ask different questions, check how it is performing. That can we use local? Yes, you can use. Okay, in place of using APIs, we can use something called as Llama. So we can download local models on a local machine, and directly we can connect with them. Yes, you can do that. So you can download a Llama model. So we have something called as Llama, which we can be used to download these models on your local machine. You can try that, and once you have done, then you can directly connect it with the local models. So no need to use API also. That can be done. Yes. So this could be completely, on a isolated system where we have a, sometimes we do have a data privacy issues and all. So that this could be done. Okay.
I'm getting an error. The notebook that you gave before, not this one, the current one.
Yeah, Vijay, can you share your screen? We can see
Yeah.
what is the issue. Yeah.
So it's just giving me untermetered string.
This part that we are having, ideally you can skip these, because if you see down, we have the same key. Just scroll down. You should be able to delete this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we already have the key. Just delete this one. Okay. On the top, if you go, there's an
Okay.
icon delete.
Got it.
Just delete or skip this. It's a duplicate.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Stop sharing. Thank you.
So try to run the second notebook also. You will get the UI. Got the response? Okay, great. Is the UI working for everyone? Fine. So now you can see, you can create your own UI, and you can use Langchain, which is, again, one of the framework for building AI agents. Like that, you can select different models. So others can also try this. This should work. If you want, you can create your own. So you can go to Grok. You can create your own API key. You can have your own Langchain API key. Asking like whatever is happening, you can check in the Langsmith. So Langsmith is basically connected with Langchain, which is helping you to debug. So all those information is available in Langchain. Yeah, once the session is over, you will get the recording of these meetings. Okay. So till now, what we have done, we have look into what are AI agents. We just saw applications where we were trying to build a multi AI agents, and we also did some hands-on using Langchain. and then we build an UI, basically UI with these things, and I share to lab with all of you. So we are running the course Agentic AI, where I will be teaching everything from scratch, assuming that you are having no knowledge of Agentic AI. And if you are interested, the link is shared in the chat. You can go and join the link. The course is starting from next week, so it is going to be around 20 hours course, where everything will be covered from very basics, and we would be covering everything from using proprietary model to very like using open source model, doing a complete local deployment end to end. So we would be covering different concepts here. How do you build these solutions end to end using proprietary model, using RAG, because RAG is very very important. Now I'm going to discuss a very very important concept called as RAG. Okay, we'll try to understand what is RAG and how do we build a RAG solution. So let's look into that. Okay, uh, so first of all, I hope all of you have heard about RAG, what is RAG, and how we are using RAG. Okay, so this should be not this should not be new for everyone. You should already knowing what is RAG. So when we look at like uh, when we are building these RAG based solutions, so what we need to understand, like what is the RAG pipeline, we need to understand this. Okay, so let's quickly look at these, what is RAG, and let's try to understand these, and we'll be maybe we can, I can give you one demo I've seen. Okay, so what is RAG? Okay, so when do we use RAG? First of all, we all know that ChatGPT is very good, or any of these foundation models are very good. If you are having some query, you can ask some question and you can get a response. But sometimes what happens, the model is not giving good output. Okay, why it is not giving a good output? So there are two problems. One thing, the model is having a cutoff. Every LLM model is having a cutoff. Beyond that, if you ask some question, it will not be able to respond. Like the model has been trained till Jan 2025. If some new virus comes up, we are asking about question about that virus, it may not be able to respond because it is not trained on that data set. So this is one problem. The second problem is that no organization is going to share their data for training these LLM model. Now suppose you ask a question to ChatGPT about what is your leave balance, what is the leave policy in your organization, it will not be able to respond. Why? Because it has never seen that data. So these are the problems that we might be having. So how do we solve these problems? So there might be two ways to solve this problem. One is using fine tuning the model. So you can go, you can fine tune the model. That is one way. The second way is to use RAG. Okay. So what RAG does, basically, you ask some. So as a user, when you are going to ask some query, like you are asking some query, the query will be going to a database. So whatever database that we are having, it will do some sort of search in that database, generate some response. The response, whatever is like text we have got, like whatever data we have got from the database, that data as well as the prompt, both of them will go together to the GenAI model, the LLM model. The LLM model is going to cross check that, and it will generate the response. So what you see here is a RAG pipeline. So ideally we should be having a database, a vector database, that is our knowledge base, and any user who is coming asking a question, so first it will go to the vector database, that is the knowledge base, look into the top case search, like top 5 search. That top 5 search along with the user query will go to this GenAI model, and the GenAI model is going to generate a response here, like we have this large language model. So RAG pipeline, basically this is made up of three things. One is called as retrieval. Retrieval means searching. top k results in the knowledge base. Like we have a vector database, so searching from there, getting the top 5 search, and after that, uh, along with the prompt, it is going to the GenAI model, which is generating the response. So first thing will be your query. Whatever query that you are writing, like whatever prompt that you are writing, that cannot directly go to model. Why? Because model doesn't understand English language. It has to be converted into a vector form. The text that we are writing, it has to be converted into a form which the model will be understanding. So that conversion has to happen. So query encoder is required, number one. Number two, the document retriever is required. We need to retrieve the document. So we have to prepare embeddings of that. Okay. Then we need a contextual document and encoder, which is going to look into the relevant sections from the document. And finally, a generator. So what this generator is? This generator is nothing but LLM model that is going to generate the response that we are having. Look into one demo, okay, where we'll see how it is doing. But here you can see the difference, the comparison between a RAG and the fine tuning. In RAG, what do you need? In RAG, we can read database. Fine, it is not having the knowledge of looking at the external database. On the training, whatever training hallucination, this okay, change like model change. This is based AI capabilities here. When you trigger the GenAI capability, it will only do a particular. It has been trained. So training data, yes, it is available here. Dynamic. So here data can be dynamic. It will only work for data. Anything beyond that. Using RAG for information retrieval, for some sort of content recommendation. If you're looking for building some sort of content recommendation, you can do that. If you're looking for building a conversational AI, you can do that. And maybe some sort of content generation. Okay, like here you can see we have a question answer assistant, like normally how this chat gpt works. So chat gpt is also kind of an RAG agent. Okay, it's an AI agent which is looking into, like if you're searching on the internet, it will go and find out the relevant sections. So here also, when the user is coming, he is asking, like he is doing some sort of query, so it goes and look into that vector database. That vector database, whatever data that we were having previously, we have to convert that into embeddings. Embeddings means you convert your data into a vector form, you convert your data into a form that model understand, and then it will retrieve the data from there and generate the output. Okay, so we just discuss about RAG. It is a very very important application we build on any local data set or any organization, which wants to use the capability of LLM but don't want to train the model on their own data set. So this is where RAG is very very important. And also, like, it is used to reduce the hallucination. It is also cut off date problem is solved using RAG. So let's do a lab. Just give me a minute. I'll just open a lab and I will share with all of you how do we use RAG here. So we can use a simple RAG lab. We can check. So this is going to be the last lab for today, the third lab, which we are a fourth lab for us, third, which I'm going to share with all of you. So here, what we'll do, we'll be taking a simple example, and we'll be using here GPT model directly. Okay, so I'm just sharing this lab with all of you. So you can see this example. GPT models are basically not open source. It's a proprietary model. The only model that we can download directly is GPT-2 model. So here we are going to use these racks. So first thing that we do here, we start with importing all these packages that we are having. So we are downloading the packages, as all of you can see. Okay. So we download all these packages. Then we download the GPT model. So these GPT model that we are downloading here, this will be running on the local. Okay. So whatever the model that we are seeing here, okay, this all model will be running on local, and this we can use. We can download this model. The only GPT model that is available to download is this model, which can be used on local. Okay, and which we are going to do right now, and we are going to build a rack solution. You can replace it with, somebody asked me, can we download? So yes, you can download this GPT model, or maybe you can even download any open source proprietary model for this task that can be used further. So we are just downloading it now, and then we are having some document. Now this is like basic example. So you can see we are downloading all these models. This is around, say we got this main model uh, here, that was 219 MB approximately in size. Then we do the embedding. Embedding is a way how do you convert your data into a text form data into a numerical form or a vector form. So this is what we are having now. So we are able to convert these into we got the embeddings. Now then we have this document, we are running it here, and then you can see we do some query. Okay, query on that document. So we have to find out the top k. Okay, top k means top 5, top 6, whatever you mention from the document, and generate the output. So here I will just run to show you that. So I'm asking a question and it is giving me the answer. What is the role of AI in HR? So what is role of AI healthcare? So based on that, like whatever sentence we are having, it is not going to look anything outside. It will only look into this, and it is going to generate. If you ask any question outside this, it will not be responding. Okay, so this is the capability of this model. What is the capability? The model will be responding only based on this document. It will not be looking anything outside. Okay, so I've run this. I will be sharing this notebook with all of you in the chat, so you all can go and check. Like, how do I build a basic RAG based solution? Now this entire thing we can replace by using our own PDF. If you want, you can even do that. I think there is something in the chat. Yeah, word to wake models. So definitely, no, we are having certain models which do vectorization. Yes, word to wake is one model. Like that, we are having other model like Gensium from Stanford University. Then we have fast text is from Facebook team. So like that, there are different models which can be used for doing the embeddings. Okay, I've shared the link in the chat. You all can go have a look at these. Okay, run that lab. So if anybody is interested into looking into RAG based solution, Google has developed a very good solution that is called as Notebook LM. Okay, I would like to show you here. So if you're looking, like let's say you want to search something on your document and you don't want to use chat GPT because it will generate some extra content not into your document. So you can use this notebook LM. I'm sharing the link. So here, let's say I upload some PDF, I ask a query, it will only respond to the document that we have uploaded. It will not respond anything outside that. Like, it is asking me to upload a document. Let me go and upload a document here. For example, uh, there is a document I have, like ML ops, like, or RAG versus fine tuning. Okay, just now we discussed that. See, I just uploaded this document here, RAG versus fine tuning. It is already there. So it gives us that what this document is having. It is having some information about RAG. It is having some information. Maybe I can ask it to give me a detailed summary. Okay, here. And if I run this, it will give us a detailed summary from our document, nothing from outside. See, and it is given a link also. If I click on this link, it will show which part of document it is present. breakup. Okay, so very important when you are having some critical document and you want to use, let's say, 300 400 pages PDF, and you only want to check from the document, so this is the best tool for you to use. This is based completely on RAG. Sometimes chat GPT, if you ask some mathematical numbers, it will give you wrong numbers. So because uh, it's not a RAG based solution, here it will give you exactly the same numbers which can be used to solve these problems. So I will stop here for today. If anybody is having any question,